I'm Julie from El Mundo de Pepita, Resources for Teaching Languages to Children. And this is our third episode in a series that I'm doing to help you transition to remote learning, to online learning. Most specifically, how you can use the resources that you may already have from us to adjust and adapt to this remote learning situation, and or to spark some ideas for you. You see materials or resources that we have and you say, that's perfect for what I want to do now. The first in this series, I talked about using our printable play food for in different types of activities, either live or in a video format. And the second one featured our Pepita Va country theme packs and how you could integrate those in your online learning. Today, I think this is going to end up being the first of a two-part series, maybe, is how to use our bulletin board sets in your online teaching. And I know you're saying, bulletin boards, what? I don't have a classroom any longer, so what am I going to do with these bulletin board sets? This is actually a conversation that I have wanted to have for a long time because I think that, yes, bulletin board sets, our primary reasoning for them, of course, is to decorate our classrooms, our hallways, our spaces with a cultural component. Most certainly, all of my bulletin board sets for the different languages are all geared toward cultural aspects of a country or a celebration or a location or specific event in that target language country. But bulletin board sets inherently are visual. And here we are in this online situation where visuals are very, very important, as they always are. But now, trying to be creative and think about different ways that we can use what we have or what is available in this new format. So I've always felt that bulletin board sets can be used visually. We can connect with the visuals that are part of bulletin board sets above and beyond just having them be decorations. So I thought it would be a good idea to maybe share some of those ideas. So today, for this episode, I think I'm going to focus in on just one bulletin board set that I have, and then in a second episode, I will bring in some different bulletin board sets and how you can use those. Otherwise, I was thinking that this episode might end up being really, really long because I have lots of ideas and lots of bulletin board sets. So I'm just going to focus on this one, Los Alebrijes from Mexico. I illustrated this set a while ago, actually after being inspired by the movie Coco. Which, many of us really love and enjoy. And the set features a variety of animals, and it has some marigolds at the end. Again, inspired by authentic alebrijes that I researched online. So I know that many of you probably already have some really cool alebrije activities, whether that be, having your students create their own alebrije or just learning about them, focusing in on them. Certainly with these bulletin board visuals, a very, very simple activity could be simply asking your students what color it is. What color is the fox, right? ¿De qué color es el zorro? And having them list or name the colors that they see. Obviously, for your novice low, that's a really simple activity that you could do with the visuals. They're very little kid, but also big kid friendly, right? So that could be just a very simple prompt. You could even just take a photo of the visual and send that to your students with the prompt, de qué colores. You could do that also as a very short video, right? You just take a video of yourself and say, okay, hola niños y niñas, este es un zorro, y de qué colores, right? And then have them list those, or if you were doing live, even better. But I know that a lot of us are not doing live, especially at the elementary level. So that's one very simple way that you could use these. But I also thought it would be really neat if you use these visuals for students to then create like a little all about me writing piece, or even they could record it if they're able to do that. I definitely am finding that my students, and from what I'm hearing with other teachers, it really runs the gamut of what students have the potential to do and have access to. So trying to provide lots of different ways that students can respond to you, I think, is really, really important, because some may have access to devices, some may not, some may be able to do writing, some may not, and so on and so forth. So again, that idea of different types of ways that they can respond is important. So let's say, for example, you provided a few of the visuals, maybe not all of them, simply because it might get to be too much for your students. But let's say they had a choice between the deer and the fox and the cat, and they choose one, and then they do an all about me, right? So let's say it was the fox, and they get to choose its name. Hello, I am, my name is. And then you give them a prompt for information, maybe a description. I am blue and pink and green. I am small. I am a fox, right? You could have my favorite food is, my favorite color is, I live. Depending on the vocabulary that your students have, you can prompt them for specific information to share. But in essence, they are creating a personality for that particular alebrije. And of course, you could have them do this where they create their own alebrije. But sometimes it makes it a little bit simpler if you already have a visual provided. And so, or perhaps you do both, right? Maybe they do one where they have the visual provided to them and they do that. And then the second one, they create their own. There are different ways that you can do this, and certainly dependent on what you want to provide to your students, what you think your students might be interested in, or what your students might connect with, will allow you, to make that choice. But if you already have the visuals, they have something to work off of, which I think can be really valuable for some of our students who may, for example, not have coloring implements at home, right? They might not have crayons. So asking them to just describe something that is already created gives them access and access to this activity, whereas if they had to color, and I know it's a sad fact of life, unfortunately, for some of our students, they might not be able to do that given what they have available at home. So you could also provide them that choice. So again, this is a really, really simple way of accessing this bulletin board set, but in an activity that would be fun for kids and motivating for kids and has that cultural connection. You could certainly provide a link or links to videos online or visuals online, or perhaps you could create a slideshow of some images online to share some authentic alebrijes as well. There are a lot of different ways that you can connect this into a bigger lesson. But that is, those are a couple of different ways that you could use the visuals that are included in this particular set that we have. So I hope that that is helpful, that gives you some ideas of things that you could do with your students in connection with this set. And I will see you next time with some more ideas. Be well.